Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more.
You're listening to The Man That Can Project with Lachlan Stuart, a global movement created to empower men and open up what's really going through their minds by having real and raw conversations about life's unique challenges and our individual ways of processing it all. Welcome to The Man That Can Project.
Welcome back to another episode. This episode is a huge milestone and one that I am excited to share, but I'm also very proud of myself for making it this far. There was never a long-term goal with the podcast when I originally started it, and it's definitely evolved over the years since I first launched it back in 2017. But I guess the best place to start episode 300 is by thanking you guys. Without you guys continuing to listen and our incredible audience growing, maybe I wouldn't be investing as much time in this as I have, but I'm very, very grateful for those who've joined me on the podcast, for those who share the podcast, and even those who message me about the podcast and recommend guests or even just provide topics that they'd love covered to help men create momentum in their life and be the best possible version of themselves. So you've all contributed to this, the Man That Can Project's success so far, and now we're getting 20 odd thousand downloads a month, which is fucking cool. Like, I was only talking to a few lads the other night. I had one of my good mates 30th up in Toowoomba, and it was cool to catch up with a lot of the gents that I've probably seen twice in school, right? I saw them at our 10-year reunion, and now 13 years out, I think I caught them up there. And it was good to hear feedback from those guys that they've been listening to the episodes and they get value. So I think, it just motivates me to keep going. And I'm excited to now have more time, to be prioritizing more time into the episodes, into the show, because I really have set a new goal where I want to hit 100,000 downloads a month. So I know I can't do that myself, and that's probably one of the learnings over the years is if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go in a team or go together. And I consider all of you guys listening a part of that team. Like I said, if you weren't here investing your time and listening, then fuck, it'd just be some weird dude sitting in his office with his headphones on, swinging around on his chair, hoping that someone would listen. But that's where we are. So pretty exciting. But gents, this episode is unfortunately a day late. Over the weekend, as I mentioned, I had Hogan's 30th, and I felt like I fucking poisoned myself. I had drank that much scotch. And let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about, I've had some hangovers in my time, and I used to love a good drink as much as the next bloke. And what I find is, even regardless of how hungover I am, I still try and get up early and just get stuck into the day. And I think once you start moving, you start to come to life. You get that second wind, or at least get a coffee and you and a bit of food. But I literally walked downstairs yesterday. So I was staying at my parents' and walked downstairs at 7:30 or whatever time it was, and the boys were all messaging and being like, "Come around again. Let's we've still got some pork left. Let's have some pork for breakfast, pork rolls." And I was like, "Yep, keen." But as I got downstairs, when it feels like a wave just comes over you, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm going to be sick here." My muscles were aching, my stomach was aching. Next minute, I'm crawling on all fours out the front door just to have a chunder. And I could not get comfortable for the life of me. I was trying to lay on the couch. I was trying to lay in the sun. I was drinking water. I was doing anything, right? I was clutching at straws to try and feel better, and fuck me, it just never happened. But then managed to get back upstairs. All right, I'm going to have a sleep again. Have to get to sleep. But as I was sort of laying down again, I was like, whoop, here we go, next chunder. Got a good chunder out, and we all know how it feels after I felt good, and I managed to get back to sleep until like 12:30. So I was kicking myself a little bit that I'd wasted, we had a public holiday here in Brisbane. I was spewing that literally, that I didn't get to maximize the day in the way that I would have liked. But once again, I had a great night the night before. Probably just note to self, don't start drinking scotch too early, and probably don't session it. Stick to the beers for that, boys. That's my little bit of advice, and something that I will be taking into the coming weeks, because I don't want to feel how I felt yesterday. Even today, not feeling as sharp as I probably would, and mentally, I've been putting this podcast off because I was like, well, I don't think I can actually function yet. But anyway, nonetheless, back into it, and 300 episodes. So thanking you guys for tuning in. And I want to share some learnings and I guess some lessons that I've learned by doing the podcast, right? The podcast started back in 2017. We're currently 2021. So it's taken 4 years roughly to get the 300 episodes. And what a wild fucking ride. As mentioned, I never really had an intention, I never really had a goal with the podcast. For me, I was listening to a podcast, and it was Tim Ferriss, and he was doing an ad for an app called Anchor, which is a podcast hosting platform, and it was free, and you could do it from your phone. So I was like, sick, I'm going to do that. And for those who've listened to the earlier episodes, you'll notice that the sound is poor. Even my communication is woeful. Like, I listen to myself and I cringe. I'm like, bro, like, I knew I was starting with a low base, but really, you've got a very, very low base in terms of your communications, the questions you ask, and how you articulate yourself. You are rubbish. That's what I think every time I listen to it. But it's also pretty cool to see how far I've come. And you'll also notice that I think there's a few episodes still missing, which I'm slowly filling in when I get time, because as I changed platforms, I managed to lose a heap of episodes. I was like, fuck. And that was a headache in itself. But I think that ties me into just the very first lesson, right? Just start. And this doesn't mean just with a podcast. This just means anything you want to do in life. I feel we live in one of the most exciting times in history. Like, I'm literally sitting in my office with a laptop and a new Rodecaster Pro, right, doing a podcast where 20,000 people listen from all around the world. That is fucking unbelievable. And I never started with that goal. I just started for the sake that I wanted to start journaling what my life, what was happening in my life. And I knew from prior to that, using Instagram as a tool to video myself, to learn to articulate myself and improve my communication, I knew it would do exactly that. And for me, rather than going, all right, I need to get everything perfect before I start, that saying, get ready to get ready, I was just like, let's fucking do it and put the episodes up, and here we go. And that, for me, is one of the best things I ever did, because I have learned so much. I have made a million mistakes. Right? I would do so many things differently, but I would never have had that hindsight had I not just started. So for those of you who have something you want to do, it might be you want to do more videos on Instagram. You might want to start your own podcast. You might want to join the inner circle. Right? There's all these things you might want to do within your life, but you're waiting to get ready. You're waiting till you feel like you're experienced enough or you know enough. It's like, dude, that day will never come, because the benchmark keeps on moving. So just get started regardless of where you are, and when problems arise or challenges arise, or you are lucky enough to get feedback, deal with that when it's there, rather than thinking, what do I actually need? Because I think a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this, especially in business, right? I'm putting so many systems and stuff in place, but I haven't even got the right amount of feedback from people to know whether it's worthy or not. So I think, just by taking action, getting feedback as we go, it's allowed me to grow and evolve. And understand that nothing is absolute, right? If you listen to the earlier episodes, it's me talking about what I've learned throughout the day and maybe sometimes having a rant and doing this and doing that. And then eventually I started inviting guests on the show, and I look at that and I had no framework. I just knew I wanted to talk to people. And my questions were terrible. I definitely didn't maximize the guests that I had, but because I had that there to learn from, I started thinking, okay, well, if I had that conversation again, what would I ask differently, or what could I prompt better? And that helped me get better at the interviewing style of things. And then I noticed other things within my communication that I wanted to improve upon. So I started doing that. And I guess we're going into point 2 of a powerful learnings that I had, was just the power of communication. I've interviewed such a wide variety of men and women, right, on topics from their life to experts in their field around helping us get better as individuals. And I feel every interview or every podcast episode has prepared me for the next one. I've gained feedback, I've asked questions, and I have conversations that has made me better. And I hope you guys fucking agree with me here that it's made the podcast better for you guys as well. It's maybe easier to digest. There's more, the conversations guide themselves, but it's not just about the podcast. It's life. I have improved my communication tenfold. I've improved my relationships, my quality of life, purely because I've learnt the power of communication, and I have day in, day out invested in getting better at it. Right? There are many men who are limited by the fact that I don't know the right words to articulate what I want to say. They mightn't even use articulate. It's just I don't know what to fucking say. And I have been there a million times, and I still experience that to this point. But it's like, okay, if I did know what to say, what would I say? Or even if I just blurt something out, what would I do differently? How could I improve that if I find myself in that same conversation next time? That's where the growth comes. The other thing that I've learned over the years, 300 episodes deep and never really had much strategy. I never had, I guess, a process to invite guests on. I was just like, you sound cool. Or I've had more and more people reach out of late to be on the show. But I've never, I guess, pre-qualified people. So learning to pre-qualify people. And once again, this goes for life, right? Understanding that we should qualify people to be a part of our life. We should qualify people to be a part of, for those who are in business, your programs, or even just to be mates. Because a lot of us, whether some of the 5 people we spend the most time around. So ask yourself this: are the people that you are spending time with right now, like the people that you'd spend the most time with, are they empowering you to get to where you will get what you want from life? Is it a bit of laughter? Is it a bit of, you might want to create freedom and wealth? It might be just to just have people that you can rely on. Right? And that's, you're the only person who can determine that. So think about that. It's definitely something that I am being very mindful of, especially with the show now, as more and more people are asking to be guests on the show, which I think is awesome. And there's a lot of incredible people that I can learn from, but I'm also not just wanting people to come on the show to spruik their shit. I actually want to have people on the show that I'd go for a beer with and I feel would have a conversation that I'm going to learn from, but also you guys will learn from. That's where I'm very excited to, and there's a new phase of the show coming, and once again, I look forward to getting feedback from you guys around whether you think it's fucking awesome or whether you're like, nah, bro, go back to the old style of show. And time will tell. I could nail it, and it could be right, or I may not. But once again, I'm trusting myself here and doing what I feel is best for most fulfilling for me, but also going to add value to you guys. And I think that's another thing that I've learned is focusing on ourselves, right? We don't always have to. I think there's people who start businesses or maybe start a podcast because they see an opportunity in the market. And for myself personally, and this, I'm not saying is right or wrong, I'm just saying this is what has worked well for me and what I feel is best for me, is trusting my gut. Right. I feel there are definitely some other things that I could have done to capitalize on trends and to do that, but it just hasn't felt right for me. It hasn't seemed fulfilling. And I really enjoy everything that I've done on a daily basis. I absolutely fucking froth on getting to interview people and getting to hear feedback from you guys around the podcast, which is why I'm now investing more time in it, because I genuinely love it. And I have just slowly gotten there over 4 years. I didn't decide to be a full-time podcaster. I'm not a full-time podcaster. I still run an incredible business. But it's just something that fulfills me. And that's why I'm sinking more time into it, because life is short, right? And we only have limited time here. So why not do things that make you feel good? Right? That's ultimately how you're going to have a better quality of life. Like, it doesn't need to be that complicated. Right? Less is more. For those who've been following the Man That Can project for years, or myself for years, you'll see that I've done a number of things, and I'm always open to trying new things. I'm always asking myself, what did I need, or what do I feel will add some more value to these people, or I'll find fulfilling. And that's why we've run workshops, we've run men's circles, we've collaborated with different people, we've got the podcast, we've done all these things. And while it was awesome and it was fulfilling and it definitely taught me a lot, it sort of liquefied the message, right? People were like, well, what program's best for me? Or how do I get the most out of this? Or what the fuck do you actually do? And I never listened to that. I was like, God, how do you not know what we fucking do? Come on. It's not that hard. But I've started to realize that less is more. And that's why for myself, it's the inner circle is where you work with us, right? You jump on board. It's online, and men from all around the world can be a part of it. You've also got the podcast, and then you've got one-on-one. That's it. There's not a million other things anymore. And while it's tough to think about that, because I loved so many of the other things, it's just easier, right? It's less to focus on for me. It's easier for you guys to understand how we can help, how I can help, right? And it just gives, allows me to provide better service, better product, which is fucking sick. So focus on less is more, guys. Like, wherever you're at in your life, right? Whether you're looking to grow as an individual, you're looking to improve your relationship, don't try to do a million things at once. Just nail a few things and do it really well. Get feedback. And when you consistently are seeing the returns on where your time's going, that's when you can start outreaching. I think if I had my time again, if I could go back to 2017, I would just do exactly what am now focused on. Maybe the results will be different. Maybe they wouldn't be. I don't know. But that's just hindsight speaking now. That's for sure. Another learning. You can fucking learn literally anything. Like, I mean, anything. I have fumbled my way through this to get an incredible business that provides me an incredible quality of life. I've still got to improve some things, don't get me wrong. I have the best fucking clients ever. Like, I was only saying to someone at the party, I was like, I feel so fortunate that I'm in a win-win situation, right? And I sort of got this from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but like, I'm in a win-win where I get paid to do what I love, and I get paid to hang out with incredible people that I consider some of my closest mates now. Like, that is phenomenal. So, like, I am just grateful that I get to do this on a daily basis. And now that once again, the journey of life and the journey of going through my own business, I'm fine-tuning things. I'm making sacrifices. But I'm just still focused on, is this going to allow me to live the lifestyle that I want to live? And am I going to be happy doing this long term? I'm not stuck on any one thing. There's definitely some behavioral flexibility there. Nothing's absolute. But I'm moving forward and I'm continuing to grow, and I love that process. I'd much rather fail my way forward and actually be making progress than to remain stuck. Like, I couldn't imagine still being the same guy I was 8 years ago now. Like, that would be fucking horrible. Like, and I know there are fucking blokes listening to this that are, because I see them comment on my shit every now and then, even when I'd ask them a question for a little bit more information about what they're going through or what the struggle is or what specifically they'd like, they just don't respond. And then they raise their head, 12 months time, 6 months time, they're in the same fucking situation. So I am so grateful for that. And I think gents, tying that back into point one, just fucking start. Take action. We all have the same opportunity, and anyone who fucking try and prove me wrong, the fact that you're listening to this, you have the same opportunity that I have. So we can learn anything. There's books, there's podcasts, there's YouTube, there's people. We got all the tools and resources. You're the only thing holding us back, and I learned that the hard way. And now, knowing that excuse has gone out the window, I think I'm probably hard on myself when I do remain stuck. Guys, just a side note, I've got this ring light on because I wanted to put this on YouTube as well, and the fucking ring light is burning my eyes. I think I'm still feeling it from yesterday, but I'm half tempted to get up and turn it off. No, I'll leave it. Final point, or I guess final learning of 300 episodes. Well, this is the 300th. Is I need to stop taking myself so seriously. Man, this is powerful. This was huge for me because I thought, right, I'm in the men's health space here. I'm changing fucking lives. I thought I was that important that I couldn't laugh, I couldn't joke, I couldn't take the piss of myself because I'm talking about mental well-being, right? What if it's too far, or what if it's that people take it the wrong way? And that will happen. I've accepted that's going to fucking happen. But it's also like, well, the right people will follow me and will understand that I'm always coming from the right place. And I take the piss out of myself all the time. I have a good laugh at the boys when we're in person, but for some reason, I've taken that away from the show. And when I listen back to episodes, I'm like, bro, where's your fucking personality? You don't need to take yourself so seriously. You're not as good as you think you are. Just have fun with it. Right? The message will get across to the right people. And for those that don't, they won't listen again. Who cares? So have a laugh. Make a few jokes. Don't take yourself so seriously. And this is not just podcasts. This is life. None of us are getting out of here alive. We all know that. Right? We're all going to die at some point. So we may as well have fun. People will judge you. People will have preconceived ideas of who you are and how you are. But who gives a fuck? You know who you are at the core. And if you don't, probably do a little bit of work there and maybe join the inner circle. But I think ultimately the clearer you get on who you are, like there's always going to be people who are judging you, but you and the people that matter most will know what you meant and how you meant it. And that's why I'm excited with as we go forward with the podcast. You may notice things change, and I will be I'll just be being me. I'm not saying I haven't been me. I've just been very careful about making jokes, and because I feel like mental well-being and men's health is a serious thing. It is serious business. Fucking oath it is. But we're all lads. We all have a fucking joke here and there, and that's what we should be doing. I think it's funny. I think it's definitely worthwhile doing, and I'm so excited moving forward. But gents, episode 300, this journey has changed my life. It really has. I've met some incredible people. I've got to talk to so many incredible people, and as our community just keeps growing, you guys are a massive reason for that. And for wherever you've come in on the journey, I know there's been people who've been around since before the Man That Can existed. Right, the very first episodes are well fit with Lachie Stuart. Awesome. But as I've evolved and as this has evolved, thank you for all your support. And as I mentioned, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go together, if you want to go far, go together. Go as a team. And you guys, I consider, are my team. I haven't met all of you. Yeah, I haven't met a fuckload of you yet. But I hope to, and I love it when you do message me and I get to have conversations with you and learn more about what's going on in your life, the challenges, the wins, just random shit even. I think it's cool to get to know who's being positively impacted by these episodes. So I truly do appreciate those, and especially those of you who've left reviews, who take the time to share it, and who recommend the Man That Can project to other men out there. It's awesome. And I could keep rambling. But like I said, the new focus is I'm now putting a lot more time into the podcast. So I hope to deliver better content for you guys. I hope to keep leading the way, because I think anything's possible. And like I said, this is the best time in history to create a life that you love and to be the man that you love, right? Ultimately, we want to be fulfilled. We want to be happy, and we have all the tools and resources to do that, to learn that and have fun along the way. So guys, thank you so much. And like I said, if you do have people that you'd love to see on the show, hit me up on Instagram, let me know. If you aren't a member of the free Facebook group yet, head over to the Man That Can Project or search that, not the page, the group. Join it, and I look forward to connecting. Otherwise, just share and tag. This is 300 episodes. I look forward to bringing another 300 more and slowly growing our community and our team to 100,000 men from all around the world, or listeners from all around the world. So you guys are a big part of that. Thank you, and I look forward to continuing the conversation when we can. Now, if you get value from the podcast, guys, make sure you hit the follow button, share the episode, and even leave a cheeky review. Give it a 5-star rating while you're at it. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.